Hey everybody! So I am hoping that we are not turned sideways now. I think I got it. So let me know if I'm right side up. Hopefully I'm right side up and not turned sideways. Hey Sally, am I sideways or am I straight? Am I right side up? Because you guys are going to need to see me while I do this. I'm going to be measuring myself on camera. This is going to be quite embarrassing. No, actually not. I'm not all that embarrassed. I can do lots of things like this. I have a worksheet for you guys to download, and Sally will put it up in the comments here in a second so that you can download it. There'll be a link for you, but this is going to be the worksheet that we're going to write our measurements on today. Or you can just grab a notebook for now and switch and change it over to the worksheet later if you want to. So grab a pen and a notebook and your measuring tape, because we're going to take some measurements so that we can get your clothes fitted properly. So I don't see comments. Sally, can you just let me know if everything's working okay? Okay, well, I'm just going to assume that you can see me and I'm not sideways. The other day I turned the camera sideways and it didn't switch over to going landscape, so I'm hoping that you can see me right side up and you're not going to have to look at this like this. Let me put my hair up to make it easier for you guys to see how I'm taking my measurements on this. So if you didn't see my video from a couple days ago, what we're doing today is we're going to start making a fitting tool for making our own clothes. My hair look funny? Yes, of course it does. And to do that, we need to take some measurements, and I just want to make sure that you guys are taking the measurements in the right place. And I'm going to ask you to write those down. And then on Thursday, when we come back, we're going to start working on making a pattern for your sloper. So what a sloper is a tool that helps you, the light's in there, a tool that helps you to make clothes that fit you properly without having to make a muslin every single time you make a blouse or a dress. So what we're going to do is take our measurements, we're going to make our sloper, and you're going to keep that and use it for every blouse and every dress that you make, as long as you're still the same size. But once you learn how to make one, a sloper that is, even if your size changes, you'll be able to adjust your patterns so that they always fit you. What you don't know about me, possibly, if you don't know me very well or haven't been around for long, is that I just had gastric bypass surgery last October, and I had a lot of weight to lose, about 200 pounds, and I'm down almost 100 pounds now, so most of my clothes are way too big. So I've been trying to buy just one pair of pants and a couple of tops, but I really like making my own clothes because I can get them to fit exactly like I want them to, and I don't have to worry about what somebody else thinks is my size. I get to make clothes that are my size, and when people say what size do you wear, I can say I wear my size, and I don't have to tell them I wear a size 14 or whatever it is that I'm wearing. So I started at a size 26 and I'm down to a 14, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is take our measurements and write them down. So get a pen, get a measuring tape and a piece of paper or my measurement worksheet. And Sally, if you could put that link in for me, that would be great. If you don't get the link on this video, I will put it in as soon as I'm done. Also, on my blog I posted today 4 resources for making your own clothes. There's some great planners that are free from Seamwork, which is part of the Colette Pattern Company. And there's one from Tina Givens, which is really pretty, but has a similar setup as the one from Seamwork. And I also put the measurements worksheet and a link to the pattern from Colette that we're going to use to make our sloper, because we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to making a pattern. Okay, so let's get started. First measurement on your worksheet is your bust measurement. And so what you want to do is take your bust measurement. I'm going to stand back so you can see me better. You want to take your bust measurement at the fullest part of your bust, and you want it to be as horizontal as possible. You might want to get a friend to help you with this, because it really helps to have them like pull the tape up on your back if you can't get it quite horizontal. But anyway, I'll do my best to get it as straight as possible. Put on a pair of leggings, a light t-shirt or something. Something that's not going to add too much bulk to your measurements. So I've got it straight across my back and going at the fullest part of my bust, and then measuring. And you want to wear your favorite bra too. Make sure that it's a bra that's comfortable. Take a deep breath while you're measuring, because you want your clothes to fit in a way that is comfortable and that you can breathe and you can move your arms. So I'm taking my bust measurement at the fullest part of my bust and keeping it as horizontal as possible. And then you're going to write that down on the first line on your worksheet. So I am doing this as we speak because I actually need to make myself a new sloper, because my other one is way too big now. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is our waist. So your waist is the smallest part of your torso where you bend. So if it's hard for you to find your waist, that's the easiest way to do it. Bend and feel where that's at. And usually you can feel on yourself where your waist is. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Let me see. Let me put this down a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so right here at the smallest part of your body where you bend, just below where your ribs are. And that's where you're going to measure your waist. And there's 2 waist measurements on my worksheet, just so you know. And one of them is, the top one is this one. This is your natural waist. So we're going to take that measurement and write that down on your notes. Okay, and the next measurement is your low waist. So wherever you like your jeans to fit, it's usually, on me, I have a short torso, or I'm short-waisted, I should say. So I actually don't like my jeans to go, most people like it about an inch below to 2 inches below their belly button, but my belly button's right here. But I don't like mine to be too low. So I like mine about here. That's probably about an inch below my belly button. And again, you want to keep this measurement horizontal as well. So we're going to go right about there and take a breath, and don't hold your tummy in or whatever. It depends on how you want your clothes to fit. But if you're not making something that you want to be tight, like jeans you want to be tight, you kind of, you don't want those to be too loose or whatever. But most of the time your blouses, you don't want those to fit super tight here, because that's not comfortable. So that's your next measurement you're going to write down. That's your low waist. And then your hip. And so a lot of people will say it's 9 inches below where your natural waist is. So I'll look and see if that's exactly where mine is. So 9 inches below where my natural waist is here. And if you look at my bottom, you can see mine is actually up a little bit higher because what you want it to be, and I can't help that you can see, I can see if I can get farther away. You want it to be at the fullest part of where your bottom is. So it'll be a little different for everybody. Some people have a higher bottom and some people have a lower bottom. And you want it to go in the biggest part of where your hip is. Because remember, this is not about, oh, my hip should be here, I'm going to measure there. This is about the clothes actually fitting you. You want these clothes to fit you. You don't want to be the person who goes to the store and has to wear just whatever they can find because it's the thing that fits them. Because you're making this and you want to make it to fit you. So it needs to be your size and not anybody else's size or anybody else's idea of what it should be. Okay. So the next thing we're going to measure is our shoulder. So when you can see this t-shirt, this is actually pretty good. Most of the time t-shirts fit me way low on the shoulders, like way down here somewhere. But this one actually fits pretty good. It's pretty close to the tips of where my shoulders are. So this is my shoulder right here. And it does go right to where the seam, can you see this seam on my shirt right there? So what I'm going to do is when I do my shoulder measurement, now you could do your shoulder measurement seam to seam like this if you want to. Some people do that. But since when we make clothing patterns, they're a quarter of your body, your clothing pattern is. So it's either the front or the back, which is this side. So what I'm going to do is measure from the center of my neck, right there where that dip is between your collarbone. I'm going to measure there to the point of my shoulder. And mine's exactly 8 inches. And that's going to be my shoulder measurement. Now you could measure all the way across. Eventually you'd have to divide that in half to make a pattern or to fit a pattern, because normally your pattern isn't a whole front. It's a half of your front. So you could measure all the way across and then divide that by half. Mine's 16, so it'd be the same, right? 8. Okay, so that's your shoulder measurement. And then you want to do a bicep measurement if you're going to make sleeves on something. I have big arms because I used to be quite large. Well, I'm still not small, but I have large arms, and each of my arms is a different size. So what I suggest is you measure both arms and use the larger size. You don't want your 2 sleeves to be 2 different sizes. So just use the larger size because that'll be comfortable. It'll be a little big on one arm if your arms are a little different size, but you want them to be the same. So use whichever arm is of the bigger size and mark that down as your measurement for your bicep. And the next thing you want to do is measure from the top of your shoulder to as low as you want your neckline to be on anything. So for me, I don't like it to be super long because I don't like things to show. So in my last video, I noticed that my neckline was really low, and I didn't mean for it to be because I think my t-shirt was just a little big and it kept hanging down. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what we'll do is we'll measure from the top of your shoulder, right where as high as you can go there. You're going to measure from there to as low as you want. And this is probably as low as I would want something to go. So I'm going to measure from there to there. And that's about 8 inches as well. So I'm going to mark that down. That's on the neckline line. And then let's see. Oh, armhole length. Okay. So your armhole length is actually not the size of, this is hard to explain. So what it is if you could make a straight line from the top of your shoulder to under your arm. You can't because, of course, you're going around your arm. So what you want to do is try to see how long it is to go from the top of your shoulder to where you want your underarm seam, or if you're wearing a tank, where you want the tank to start under your arm. So you're going to go from here down the side. You don't want it to go across your bust, but just down the side of your bust to where, So I would say where the top of your bra strap is under your arm, because you don't want that to show either when you lift your arm. So if you do this, you'll find it's going to be around 8 inches for almost everyone. That doesn't change very often unless you have very, very small arms or you're a very petite person. Maybe it'll go down to 7.5 or 7. If you have very large arms or big shoulders, maybe you might have to go up a little bit to like an 8.5 or a 9. But I've made blouses that I used 9 as my measurement, and it's always way too low on the sides for me. My bra strap always shows. So I would say 8 is a really good measurement, and then you can adjust it later if you want to. So 8 is what I'm going to put on mine. Okay. And this is a measurement that I haven't seen anybody else take, but it's one that I always do because it's the best way to adjust your darts when you're setting up your slopers. So I call this the bust length. You go from the top of your shoulder to the fullest part of your bust, and my measurement is about 11.5. And that is going, over the top of your bust, not just going straight down the side, but I'm going from there to there because what I want to know is where I want my dart, my underarm dart to be so that it fits my bust right. Okay, this is, so I have to make an adjustment on my blouses because of my short torso. When I make a blouse, I have to do they call it a sway back adjustment. And what that means is my front waist is much longer than my back waist. So if you look here, you can see, here's my natural waist in the back, and here's my natural waist in the front. And if you can see that, it's a difference of about 1 inch to 2 inches. And what happens, and I know you guys have seen this in your own clothes or on other people, if you have this sway back adjustment need that I have, when you wear a woven blouse and you look at somebody's back, there will be a tuck of fabric right here at the waist. And it makes it look like your clothes are tight, but it's really not because your clothes are tight. It's because you have a difference in where your natural waist is from the back to the front. And so what I like to do is go ahead and make that adjustment in my sloper so that when I make a blouse, I don't have to do a sway back adjustment on every blouse I make. I just use my sloper and make it fit the proper way the first time. So what we're going to do is measure from the top of your shoulder to your natural waist as straight as you can, to your natural waist in the front. And you're going to mark that down as your waist length F, which is waist length for the front. And then you're going to get somebody to help you. And you're going to take your measurement, and hopefully you can see this, but take your measurement from the base of your neck in the back to your natural waist in the back. And mine is actually quite a big difference. There's almost 4 inches difference, so it's even more than I thought it was. Oh, that's because I forgot. I do it from here. Because if I do it from the base of my neck in the back, I need to do it from the base of my neck in the front. So I'm sorry. Let's change that to your waist length in the front should be this way, not down the side over your shoulder. So from your base of your neck to your waist in the front. Yeah, and that's 2 inches. I thought it was about 2 inches. Okay, let's see, what's the next one? Oh, okay. So the other one that I like to do so that if I'm making a blouse, I know that I'm getting the length proper on me because I'm short. And if I make a tunic that's the full length, normally it comes out dress length on me. I'm only 5'2". So what we're going to do is measure from the top of our shoulder to where we want our tunic length to be. And for me, I like a tunic to be approximately right where the tips of my fingers are, or maybe just a little bit shorter. I would probably go maybe 1 inch shorter than that. So that would be my tunic length. It's on me, it's like 28 inches, but it could be anything, whatever it is on you that you like. So if you like it long, if you like it short, just pick your favorite length from the top of your shoulder to that length. And let's see. Oh, also, because I like the front of my tunics to be a little bit shorter and the back to be a little bit longer, I like my tunics to cover my bottom, and I don't like them to be quite as long in the front. So I like to make the back a little bit shorter, or I mean a little bit longer than the front. So I will usually add 2 inches to the shirt length for the back because I like it to be a little bit longer. And yeah, so those would be my tunic lengths. And then shirt lengths, I don't like things that are just right at my waist. I like them to be about 2 inches below my waist. So that would be your shirt length if you wanted to measure that as well, if you're making just a shorter shirt. But I think most people are making tunics these days more than they're making shirts. So anyway, so same thing, shirt length in the front, shirt length in the back. Okay, so those are the measurements that you're going to need to make your sloper. The other thing you're going to need, so what I'm going to do is on Thursday, I'm going to come on in the morning, not at 1 o'clock. I have to go up to the shop where I sell clothes. I'm working on Thursday in the afternoon, so I can't do a 1 o'clock on Thursday, but I can do a morning. So on Thursday for our live, I'm going to come on in the morning and we'll get started on working on the pattern. So what you can do in the meantime, your homework, is go over to Colette. Hi, Gretchen. Go over to Colette Patterns and download their free pattern called the Sorbetto Tank. If you go to my blog, I have a link there on my blog for that, as well as the measurements worksheet and 2 wardrobe planners if you're interested in getting a little planner to plan your wardrobe. They're all free links, so they won't cost you anything. You might have to give them your email or something. But other than that, they're free. And download the Sorbetto Tank from Colette and print out your size. So I just showed you how to take your bust measurement. I want you to print the size that is the right measurement for your bust. It doesn't matter what your waist is, doesn't matter what your hip is. The best thing to do when you get a pattern is to get a pattern that fits your bust. It will be the easiest for you to adjust to make fit you. So pick the one that's your bust size. Don't worry about your hip or your waist, because we'll deal with that when we start working on it. And download the pattern, print out the pattern, and get it taped together. And on Thursday, we'll start working on adjusting it so that it fits you perfectly. Okay, that's your assignment. So I will see you on Thursday. I will be on in the morning, Pacific time, between 9 and 10 a.m. I'm not sure exactly what time I'll be on, but definitely by 10 a.m. I will be on. So it will be a longer session because we will actually be working on the pattern, and I will be doing it and making the adjustments at the same time as you are. When I teach this as a class, it's about a 5-hour class, and by the time we're done, we have an entire tank made with our new pattern. So hopefully I can do this by the end of next week so that you can get started on making your Me Made May clothes. And getting them all fitted perfectly. So I hope that you will stick with me for the next couple of weeks on Tuesdays and Thursdays so that we can get these patterns made for you. I really look forward to seeing what you guys make with them. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Thursday morning. Okay? See you later. Bye.